You know it's good, don't you, when the hair does all the talking? Do you know? That was a moment right there. Did you see it?
It's beautiful.
It was like hair poetry. Being able to just see the shape move, and I mean, honestly, I love my job.
I love the colour.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to show you something a bit more bold and a bit more daring. But I also wanted to pay a little bit of homage to what we call well cut, well executed, polished, well groomed, simply blow dried hair. And I have to give this colour to the respect of the lovely Dawn Johnson, who's over there doing her thing. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the background. So, Dawn Johnson is our master colour expert here at Nelson Brown, which means that she's a very clever cookie when it comes to colouring your hair. It's not just about how she does it, it's about the way she approaches it. Now, there was a really famous manufacturer's competition recently. It was actually Weller Professional, and they have a competition called the Trend Vision. And Sarah, our gorgeous Sarah, with the nibba gown on, who you might recognise. Oh, mind you, she's a bit of a chameleon, Sarah. She's basically been every colour, every length, and also every sex since I've known her, which is only 4 years. No. So this was Dawn Johnston's entry into the colour category, and I wanted to show you it because I really do think. By the way, this colour is 2 months old.
That's impressive.
It's not. It wasn't done last week. It wasn't done the week before or the week before that. It's almost. Is it 2 months, Sarah? When was it?
Start of May.
Right, start of May. Right, amazing. So. It just shows you when you've got the right fabric and surface to work upon, and that the colour is processed in such a way that you can get this life and vitality from it in the right manner. So you're looking at the shape and the colour in one dimension with the static shape, but I wanted just to kind of break it down a little bit for you, because Dawn actually did this haircut as well 2 months ago. That's all I'm saying.
That's a long time to get out of a haircut, isn't it? And your colour.
It's the same cut. Okay, so interestingly, the idea of Dawn's entry was a homage to the 80's. And you guys out there will probably remember the wonderful, most amazing, beautiful woman called Diana, Princess of Wales. And I was lucky enough to be involved in Couture Fashion Week in Paris last January, assisting the amazing Sam McKnight and his wonderful team. And one of the shows that Sam led was a designer called Vauthier, and the inspiration was like royal versus slightly Diana, Prince of Wales, and there was a bit of Hunger magazine thrown in there, so it was modern and current. And it really made me think, as a hairdresser and as a hair cutter, how these shapes are changing and how we need to revisit the classics or the building blocks of what we know as hairdressers, the things that make clients happy at the end of the day. Because there's nothing wrong with having beautiful long hair. I'm such a fan. But as a technical hairdresser, when we construct shapes and build things, that's what's really challenging for us, and that's what makes us become to think out of the box. And this shape is homage to that kind of 80's era where haircuts were really bold and they were beginning their life. And it's a take on the original haircut called the Firefly from Vidal Sassoon, which was probably cut in the 1970s. And it was one length graduation. One length graduation. What's graduation, Oliver?
It's when the hair's cut like an incline.
I'll let him off with that. It's a build-up of weight. So let me show you. Check out this part here. That is graduation. So you can see, if I lift the hair up and let it drop, that is basically, that part there is graduated. Okay, so it's a build up of weight. So layering removes weight, graduation builds weight up. So the haircut is graduated in such a manner that if you come round to the front, Fiona, you can see that the shape travels from a shorter point. Remember, this haircut is 2 months old, not 2 weeks old, it's 2 months old. And it's still really cool. Not been straightened, has it, Sarah?
No.
How did I dry it?
With a hair dryer.
And
Brush.
a brush. Okay, good. No trick questions here. So, you can see the shape is round, the firefly was round, and it travels from the front to the back. So if I can just move you with me, you can see the graduation here that Dawn's cut, and it follows all the way in to that nice bulky centre. Okay, so that's side number 1. So now side number 2, because we wanted to change it up, we want to make it modern. So we took the same concept from the front, okay, the same idea, the same round shape that the other side has. You can see it there, okay? But we wanted to add a little twist, a little 80s kick. Now the idea was to flick the hair back, and you've just seen it right there. I'm going to do it again.
That's beautiful.
Flick it back. And
Does it naturally?
what Dawn has done is she's accentuated that line, and you can actually see how that works amazingly.
That's gorgeous.
It's really cool. It's not been done before, but if you just look in the mirror, Fiona, you can actually see what that's doing to the haircut. It changes the dynamics of it 100%. So, it is a classic shape, but it's done in a modern twist. And you can see that the front has a little long piece there. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. It goes down towards the lip. And that is so that when we kick it back, you get the flick. And it's the flick that we love. Yeah. So, let me talk to you a little bit more about the colour that Dawn's done. Okay, I can't actually get Dawn to talk to you because the girl has had a brush and a pair of and a dryer stuck to her hand for the whole day. She's so busy, it's ridiculous. She went to the toilet at the same time as doing a full head tint. Anyway, so the idea is that this piece of colour here drops to the front to almost emphasise the piece of length. You can see that in the very tips, just at the front. But underneath here it's very interesting because what we did was we followed a section from the front down into the back. Now you can see it being opened up. Yeah, you can see the whole thing. And that travels all the way under here to a low point at the back. So you can see that. But as the hair falls over it, this is what's quite magical because it disappears. So it's a kind of peekaboo effect that you can just see as the hair moves.
I think it accentuates the graduation as well, doesn't it?
Amazing, Fiona! Hello! I'm actually very impressed by that. Wow. Okay. That just shows you, doesn't it, that learning how to do hair is really achievable in this environment because that's not your background, is it, Fiona?
No, it's not my background
But
all.
but because there's so much energy flowing in the salon that you can really feel.
You absorb it. It's impossible not to absorb it. It's infectious.
Okay, so what I want to do really is just take a minute to tweak this shape. And if you can just get a position, Fiona, where you can see right down the mirror format. I don't know if you want to be at the front, or I don't know whether you want to be at the side, how you want to do it. But just get a position where you can see straight down the mirror. And I'm just going to make this haircut come alive. So it's got no product in it, and I just kind of want to allow it to be expressive. And just be playful with it. Let's just push it to the side, and that just completely turns it on its head. Even Sarah likes that, don't you, darling? P.S. We're having a big colour change, aren't we, on Tuesday? because we're doing another event, which I'm sure we'll touch on before we pass out. So you can just see now how that's totally changed the shape, and it's given a whole nother look. And that's with absolutely no product on it. But if I want to just expose the colour a little bit more, which is there, it's stunning, I can push it even a little further. Give me some cool girl, would you please, Oliver?
It's so glossy still, the colour.
Yeah, I mean, that was dried, I promise you, with a dryer and a brush. There was absolutely no straightening at all on it. And that's because the fabric that we're playing with is happy, smooth, polished. The cuticle is down, it's not angry and aggressive. So if there's people out there that are thinking, why is my hair not shining like that? It could well be down to the fact that the cuticle isn't in a happy position. So it can be resolved under the right guidance. I'm kind of enjoying that little piece just on that side. It's quite inspiring. So yeah, I just wanted to show everybody what it's like to have a Don Johnston, Nelson Brown, little haircut. Love that piece. So I'm gonna put some product in it now, try and make it more alive. So I'm gonna use the matte paste by Windle & Moody, which is comes out looking like that.
Nice.
Smells beautiful, it smells of citrus. And I'm just gonna use it in my hand, not too much, and I'm gonna do a little trick with it. I'm gonna warm it up with the dryer. What does it smell of?
It's really nice, citrusy.
It's that citrusy, melony, lemony, limey. And just that little bit of heat, look, disappears. Gone.
That's magic.
Into my hand. Now, if you touch my hand, Sarah, tell me what it feels like. It feels kind of grippy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's in there. So when I then go in and I really push and break the hair up with my fingers, it's just going to allow me to coat the hair a little bit more. Sarah was saying that she's not really looking forward to this weekend. Where are you, darling? No, why not?
Because it's a busy weekend for people going out and I have to work.
Oh, and would you rather go out and get absolutely smashed? Yeah. You would? Okay. Right. Well, listen, you won't bump into me because I'm a hermit. All I do is go home and play with my doll head, which is really sad. Yeah. Okay. So just a little bit of life in there, and you can see how the shapes kind of come alive. You got any questions, Fiona, for me? Or is that as up, do you think?
I don't think I do have any questions. It's quite amazing the difference it makes just switching the sides over and putting a little bit of product in.
Yeah.
I think the cut and the colour speak for themselves, really.
Very much, and I have to say a massive well done to Dawn, because for me, obviously, in a competition, it's all judged by a bank of judges, and they've got such an incredibly hard job. But when you've got someone like Sarah, who I'm just going to ask to just stand up a second and take the gown off, please, so we can see you in your full glory. Just stay right there, gorgeous. Because I want to see the neck, and I want to see the shape, etc. So, when you see her, you can actually see that when the hair is placed, what Sarah's got is this incredible neckline. And as women, if you can just cut to me for a second, women forget that when you look at shape and form, whether it's a shoe, whether it's a building, whether it's a belt, whether it's a jumper jacket, or whatever, you're looking at a design. And the designs are always meant to emphasize what part of the body you're wearing it on. So haircuts are no different. Haircuts are about making the woman look much more feminine, showing off areas of their body, and in this case, the neckline. And I remember a guy called Vidal Sassoon telling me a story once. And he said, Nelson, it's all about the S. Now you can imagine what S I thought you meant. Sand.
Clearly.
No, not sand. Sea. No, not sea. Sangria. No, because basically, if you follow me, watch. Here's the S. Look, there, and there.
Ah.
So it's about that, emphasising this curve in a woman's shape and emphasising that. So with the product, I'm just going to show you that it can be really combed out easily. So if we go back to where we were, with a comb, we can go straight back to the original shape, just like that. Head that way.
So you can change up your look depending on what mood you're in.
I mean, I'm actually slightly in love with that little piece right there. It's such a homage to the 80s and Diana. It's got a really modern feel to it. And I'm sure my Sassoon buddies will say that it's a nod towards the great man Vidal. I think that's everything.
I think it is.
Yeah, so I think very soon we're going to be doing how to make your hair go from dirty to clean very, very quickly. So the use of dry shampoos, the good ones, the bad ones, the maybe not so good ones. A bit of a review of what I was kind of thinking. Almost a little bit of a blog on not just what we use here at the salon like Windle and Moody or Sam McKnight, but also what we think as customers you should be thinking to try and avoid. So if everybody's got any questions, we're always here in the salon.
Or they could ask you in person on Wednesday night.
Oh yeah.
Or they could see Sarah in person as well.
Well, on Wednesday night, this is happening. Don't laugh. Okay, so Nelson Brown is teaming up with the amazing Brodies in Moffat, who have got a fabulous restaurant and gym bar. We're going to be putting together an event for charity, and the two charities are Mountain Rescue is one, and the second one is Sports Driving Unlimited. So come down on the night. It's a £5, and that gets you a glass of prosecco or a drink, I think, and some nibby dibbles, and also you'll get to see me, which is probably going to put people off. And ask me questions. I'm going to be available to do consultations on every single person. God knows how I'm going to manage that, but I will be. And also I'll have some hair stories to talk to you about, because I've not just got to where I am by fluke. There's a real story to it, and hopefully I can share that with you, and also clarify the do's and the don'ts about hair myths. So if you want to talk about more, actually, if I do that, then that's the advertisement. See you there.